everybody, welcome back. Guys, this video is going to be about the gear that I take personally when I go out for an overnight on the Foothills Trail. You know, wasn't that long ago we did a video back in, I guess it was June, about the things that I didn't feel like that you needed to take out on a through hike of the trail, especially the Foothills Trail. Had a big long list of items you didn't need to take, just leave it home. And I had some folks comment and talk to me or send me messages and say, hey, what do you take? You know, so you told us what you don't take. What do you take? So that's what we got laid out on the table here. Me and my wife are going to be going out for one overnight this coming weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the Bad Creek access on the Foothills Trail, and we're going to hike over through the Big Middle, headed towards Oconee State Park, but we're going to stop when we get to Hilliard Falls, which is about a 6-mile hike, give or take a few tenths. And we're going to camp out there and spend the night. We're going to take you with us and make a great video on it so you can tag along and see Hilliard Falls and one of the more remote parts of the Foothills Trail on our hike. All right, so what am I going to take on this hike? And that's basically, you know, typically what I take on any overnight or multi-day hike or whatever where I'm going to spend the night in the woods. All right, so let's look at what we got laid out here on the table. First of all, of course, is the backpack. I'm going to take my trusty ULA OHM 2.0. This is a great pack. It's super lightweight, man. Less than 2 pounds with nothing in it. Fantastic pack. All right, so we're going to take this. And of course, I always take this little super lightweight item here. And it's just an old windscreen, like you put in the, you know, in your windshield of your car. You know what I'm talking about, that keeps the sun off your dash. And I picked this thing up cheap at the dollar store one time. It was like $5. And I gotta tell you, it serves two purposes out on the trail. One, I'll spread it out, you know, by my hammock, like when I put my shoes or whatever on it, a place to stand to change your clothes, things like that, so you're not getting your feet dirty before you get up in your hammock. And something else that I do with it is, if it were to get chilly at night, and I have done this a couple of times with this, put this in your hammock and lay on top of it, and man, it makes all the difference in the world. It'll go from you shivering in the hammock to being comfortable enough to sleep with just this addition. Okay, so I always take this thing with me. It weighs nothing and don't take up any room hardly. It just goes on the side of my backpack. And I always take this. All right, then the next thing we got here is we got our Dutchware Asylum tarp. And I use this when me and Haber did our inspection hike, spent a couple of nights out on the trail and used this thing. Didn't have any rain while we were out there, but I had it up, man, and you know, used it for my shelter and all that. And we're going to take it on this hike. So you'll see more of this. The Dutchware Asylum tarp. All right, and then of course is the Dutchware half-width hammock. And this is the one, and we've slept a couple of nights in it now out on the trail. In fact, in the last video I did was previous to the inspection hikes when it was recorded. I got it out, tied it up down with my family on the river. We had a great time. And this thing is so far is fantastic, and it's rated to 350 pounds. Much better hammock than the one that ripped. So we're going to be sleeping in this while we're out there. All right, and then the next thing we got is my Outdoor Vital sleeping bag. It's a 30-degree bag. And it's one of those sleeping bags that you can either just lay it in your hammock and zip it up or whatever, or it will do like a pea pod around your hammock, which is probably how I'm going to use it this trip, and just wrap it around my hammock so that it works as an underquilt and a top layer also. So I'm going to take this, and this is going to be the sleeping bag. And of course, can't sleep without some pillows, and here's my little camp pillow. And I take a second little camp pillow because when you're in a hammock sleeping, you want to put something kind of behind your knees, and that's what I use this for. And then I take my water filter. This is just a little Sawyer squeeze, and I keep it, you know, in its own little Ziploc bag. And I'll make sure that this Sawyer squeeze and my little water bottle here, I'll make sure that they're sanitized and clean and ready to go before we head out on the trail. So that's what we're going to take for water filtration. All right, this little bit of orange paracord, it's going to go with me, and I use it to hang my food bag up. So think about it, you know, you've got this bag with your sleeping bag in it, and once you pull your sleeping bag out and throw it into your hammock, it's kind of got this empty bag floating around and keeping up with. And so what I do is I put all of my food and all that stuff that needs to be hung up at night, and this bright orange paracord. I like to use bright orange so you can see it and find it. And this is what I'll hang my food up with at night away from camp so that if the bears do come sniffing around, they're not anywhere near us. All right, so the next thing we got here is this is just a little rain cover that came with the ULA backpack that I got. And it's nothing fancy to it. We've used it a couple of times already. If we do encounter rain, I'll cover up my pack with that. Otherwise, I won't use it. All right, and then I got a little Frog Tog rain jacket. And so far, I have not used this thing once. I've had numerous hikes and I haven't used it once. My wife has worn it several times, but it's going to have to rain pretty hard for me to put this on, okay? All right, let's see here. Cook kit is right here, and as y'all seen this before, this is just, a little Girl Scout, believe it or not, a little Girl Scout cook kit, just like a Boy Scout one. I took the little plate off of it. I don't take it with me. I feel like it's redundant. You got a pan, you got a pot, that's all you need. And inside the pot, what I take is cloth. You always need a little kitchen cloth or whatever to wipe your hands. I got my little multi, sport spoon thing. I got a ferrocerium rod that I take. And I take my lighter with duct tape wrapped around it. And listen, that duct tape's already, I've used it off of it once and put more on it since then. So I take that with me. So I got 2 ways to start the fire. And these are just little cotton whites that have candle wax melted into them. And they're excellent for starting the fire. So I've got this little Girl Scout, Boy Scout type cook kit here, and that's what I use out on the trail. You've seen that just now. But what I didn't tell you is what I'm going to use when I go out there for is the heat source, okay? Now, normally, you can look at the bottom of this and you can tell that normally I will just build a little small fire, a little cook fire. You don't have to have anything real big, but you need to have a backup plan. If you get out there and it's pouring down rain, you get into camp, man, you can just forget it. You're not going to build a fire. So you got to have a backup plan, unless you're okay just eating cold mashed potatoes and whatever you're going to eat. But in my case, I've kind of come over to using these little canister here and the little tiny, this little tiny stove that screws onto it. And this is just a little cheapie, that I got off of like Amazon or eBay or something. This is like a little $15, $20 stove. And I bought this little canister here, and it's a blend. It's a Jet Power, Jet Boil brand, and it's isobutane and propane fuel mix. So I got to tell you guys, I've already gotten a lot of mileage out of this one canister right here. And what I do is I mark on top here, how many times I've cooked with it. And right now, this thing's already made 4 dinners and 2 cups of coffee already, okay? And it's still got a lot in it, and I'm going to take it out there, man. This is going to be our backup plan. I'm not planning on using this unless it rains, unless we can't get a fire going, what have you. So this is what we're going to take to make sure we're able to cook a hot dinner and maybe some breakfast and coffee the next day. There's still plenty in it. What else we got here? We've got our bag with, personal items in it. And it's really just, the normal fare. Toothpaste, floss. I got some eye drops. I got a little tiny first aid kit it's basically just Band-Aids. And we're going to take the cup that came with the little Girl Scout kit. We'll take that so that we can make coffee and drink it out of that. We're going to take the spot, and this is so that we can let people know that we're okay or that we're not okay. All right, something else I take a folding saw. And I carry this along with me really more than anything to help do some trail maintenance along the way. And as far as electronics are concerned, I'll take my cell phone, this guy here. And since I'm going to be recording our hike, I will take a recharging device here, a recharging brick or whatever you want to call it. All right, and then as far as the knife is concerned, I don't carry, the big Rambo knife and all that out there for an overnight or a long hike. Don't need it. I might carry it on a day hike when we'll play around, do some stuff with the kids or whatever. I'll drag one in, but otherwise I just take, a knife like this, a locking knife. I like to take a locking knife out on the trail because it just helps reduce the risk of you getting out there and cutting yourself, with it folding up on your hand or something. So I take this little knife here with me, and I make sure it's sharp before we go. There ain't no point taking it if it's dull. All right, then I got this little guy right here, man, and this was a gift from one of the guys that you see in many of my videos on the trail maintenance stuff, Mark Keenan. Mark gave me this, okay, and I've never used it. In fact, he was telling me all about it. I might do a little review on it later. So it's got a little, he gave me this too. This is a little Velcro thing. So this thing is supposed to like hook on the ridge line of your hammock, which I use. And you can take this big alligator clip and hook your phone on it. Well, look at that, it works. And I guess if you want to lay up in your hammock or whatever and read something on your phone or look at it, you could. I mean, we live in a device-centered age, okay? I know a lot of older people, they see that and they laugh and they think, you know what you need that for. But hey, I'm gonna take it and we're gonna give it a try and see how it does. And nothing else, we'll do a review on it later. Thanks, Mark, I appreciate it, buddy. It was a great gift from my friend Mark Keenan. All right, everybody, so let's look at what I'm going to wear on my person while we're hiking. Of course, you know, my cloud line wool socks, I don't go anywhere without these guys. My ex officio underwear, or down south as we call them, my drawers. We're going to be wearing these to keep the chafing business under control. And I've got a breathable shirt that I picked up from a local place. Nowhere special. It's just one of these shirts that's got a gazillion holes in it and it's real breathable. I wear that out when we're out in a hot day hiking. And then just some really lightweight hiking shorts. These are the kind that have every pocket on it is Velcroed. And really, the only thing that's going to be in my pocket is going to be this knife and my driver's license. That's it. Okay? And then shoes. And these are just, my wife went to, the local shoe store about a month ago, and she picked me up these shoes here and have a real good tread pattern. These are great, man. They got a nice tread pattern, real aggressive, and they keep me from slipping and sliding. I've already worn them now a couple of times out on the trail doing some trail maintenance, and I'm comfortable now to know that they're not going to hurt me, they're not going to blister me up. I've already got a good 10 miles or so under these shoes already, so I feel comfortable taking these out on this hike. All right, now, camp clothes. When I'm out hiking, I got two sets of clothes. I'll put my Foothills Trail shirt on, after I get to camp, in case we see anybody or whatever, and just a pair of shorts. And I've got these little guys here, man, that's my camp shoes. So as soon as we get to camp, if the weather's good, I'm gonna go ahead and change clothes. If it's weather's iffy, I'll get the tarp up first, then I'll change clothes. All right, and last but not least is this is my hiking stick right here. And this was a gift from Mr. Jerry Harvey. All right, so Jerry Harvey and his wife Mary, they have won the Volunteer of the Year like 3 times in a row before I won it last year. Very active, very hard workers, and he makes these great hiking staffs. And dude, look at all the carvings and stuff that he's put on them. I mean, this is a beautiful hiking stick, and I've used it now. I took it on me and Hayward's hike, several hikes that me and my wife have been on. I've used this thing, and I just love it. See how he put the emblem in it. He put the 3 rings up here. This was a tribute to Ernie Baskins, who the Volunteer of the Year award is named after, and he made hiking sticks, and his little signature was the 3 rings or 3 dots or whatever. And if you look right down here, you can see Jerry's initial in it there, the H. And so what I do is I take this staff here and I modified it up here at the top to put my camera in, okay? And this is how I do all my recording on the trail while we're out hiking. And so this thing just goes right in there, and this is how we do all the recording out there, or how I do it. And all the stuff that we do, I just hike along with this, and I can record, and it's adjustable and everything. And so far so good, man. It's got a lot of miles under it already. So that's what we'll be using on our overnight, going to Hilliard Falls. All right, something else we take out on the trail is headlamps, and I'll have one, and my wife will have one. All right, so it's time to get packed up. I'm gonna get the bag up here. We're gonna get all this stuff packed into it. Then we're gonna get our food, stick in the top. And we'll talk about food out on the trail in the next video. And I'm gonna show you what some of my favorite trail food is. My dog. Hey, come here, Hank. Come here. Come here. He's under here. Come here, boy. All right, guys, you see we're all packed up and ready to go. I'm ready to hit the trail in the morning. And something I forgot to mention earlier when we had everything spread out on the table was the camping chair right here. We always take a camping chair when we go out. Even on my hike with Hayward, I took this little chair. All right, so anyhow, we're headed out tomorrow morning. We're going to go to Hilliard Falls and spend the night. And guys, we're going to be taking you with us along the way, and we're going to have a great time. And I'm so glad that you're going to be tagging along with us. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope you come back for the next one.